Hello again, everybody, and welcome to the table. We are back as we are every week. My name is Katelynn. I am here with Shannon.
Hello.
We got it. Last week was like the awkward delay before you said hello. It was great. And
Really
also,
growing.
welcome to the table, Susritha. Hello.
Hi.
So, Susritha is our friend from K through 8. Was it grammar school? Is that what you call that?
Grade school. Yeah.
Yeah, grade school. So the three of us have known each other our entire lives, and I will let Shannon finish the introduction.
Yeah, Susritha and I also went to high school together too, so we have even more fun years together. Um, but yeah, so Susritha is our lovely guest today. She is a vegetarian, so sort of the theme of this episode, as you'll see later. Her favorite food always changes up, but currently it is a dish called dabeli. And it sounds delicious. I might have to let you take away the description because my scribble notes are mashed potato, Indian spices, crunchy potato.
And fruit.
And that doesn't make any sense. Uh, so take it away.
Yeah. So I mean, you're not far from what it actually is. I feel like that's kind of it. So basically, think of mashed potatoes, and then add a bunch of Indian spices. That's your base. From there, you kind of make like a patty, and you can start to build it in like a bun, and then to that you can add chutneys. So there's like a tamarind chutney, which is more on the sweet side, and then there's like a mint chutney, which is
Ooh.
it's more flavor, but not it's not spicy, but I guess it's just more flavor. Um, and then sometimes people will add peanuts, and then pomegranate seeds are my favorite part of the add-ons. And then there's these like it's called aloo bhuji. It's aloo is the word for potato, and so they're like crispy, crunchy potato fries, but they're really thin and really small, but they add a nice crunch aspect. So the whole thing is like a little sandwich, and it's a good time.
Nice. That sounds good.
Super fun. Yeah, I love all the different textures that are happening in there too. I feel
Mhm.
like that would make for a really great dish.
Yeah. I like the use of peanuts too. I think that's one thing that like European cuisine does not do enough is use peanuts. Like you see like a lot of Indian and Thai foods use peanuts in a lot of food, and it's so good. And like when I think of a peanut, it's just like salted in a cup, like not like as part of a dish.
It is on the
Yeah.
floor of a Texas Roadhouse.
Yeah, they stopped doing
The
that.
natural
And like
comfort.
I don't blame them for stopping it, but like I miss it.
It
I
adds
didn't
to
know
the
that they had
ambiance.
stopped. I'm sorry, Sue, go ahead.
No, it adds to the ambiance. The just the peanuts. Yeah.
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 I guess it does help too. Those that are allergic to peanuts can now enter the restaurant at least. They probably still shouldn't, but I'm sure there's like more freedom there after that. But yeah, they stopped it because of COVID, obviously.
Mm.
And you can now get like packaged peanuts instead of like the barrels that used to be hanging around.
Yeah, I mean, packaged peanuts. I guess it did expand their audience now that
Yeah.
people can walk in without potential allergic reactions, just could have allergic reactions when eating. But you know, that's a business choice.
Yeah. Like can you imagine like beforehand, like when peanuts were everywhere, that you sit down and then like the waiters comes up and then like three of the people at the party are allergic to peanuts, but like not they can be around them but not allergic to. I'd be so confused. I'd be like, why did you come here? I'd be so scared for them. Like there's peanuts
Yeah.
everywhere.
And be like, what do you recommend? I recommend you leave.
Yeah. Like thank you so much for coming, but like I don't know if I can make this a peanut free space for you.
Yeah, no, that doesn't seem like a safe time.
No. But
Doesn't matter.
so vegetables. So obviously in the spirit of like you are our first vegetarian we've had on the show, which is cool. We're going like a veggie focused one, because we also haven't had a podcast focused specifically on veggies or even fruits for that matter. We've done cheese and candy. So maybe we'll go a little less caloric direction today.
Wait, I have something to say.
Yes, go ahead.
So, okay, the cheese episode.
Yeah.
I have a story, and I don't know if Shannon remembers this, but it felt anecdotally funny.
Okay.
Okay. Shannon, do you remember in high school, we both took French together, and we had like skits that we used to do just to practice writing and speaking in French. Shannon, do you remember that one skit we did where all of our characters were named after cheese?
Yes. Wait, oh, I totally forgot about that.
I was listening to this episode and I was like, oh my god, this is like the cheese episode, and then like this whole cheese skit that we did. Like we had characters named like there was like Mr. and Monsieur American, and then there was like Camembert, and then the Brie, and it was just all these cheese characters. But there's only 3 of us, so we all played like 3 characters. And yeah.
Yes, I distinctly remember Camembert.
Yeah.
That was for sure a character. I forget if I played them or not.
I feel like you did.
I want to say it was like a murder mystery
It
dinner
was a
party
murder
thing.
mystery. It was, yeah.
My God.
3 of us doing like we wrote the most ambitious script for this, and it was amazing. Really quality acting, I think, and production on our part.
True quality, yeah.
I'm so happy
Wait,
to see
what's
the
the story?
influence that Sister Priscilla had on y'all.
It really carried forward. It really did.
Sister Priscilla was the principal of said grammar school, who was also our English teacher in our 8th grade year. And she was very theatrical, and she would make us do our projects and book reports as like essentially a show for her own entertainment. And you know what? Power to her. Like we had to be wrapping Santas, or maybe not my year, but another year did. We had to do like be a washing machine or a GPS. And I'm glad to see that those things have carried over into high school, and now Shannon's got a theater minor degree. Like it really did start young. We didn't even have a drama club then.
Yeah, I certainly still credit her for, as much as those oral presentations kind of sucked in the moment because they would be so frequent and you'd always have to be prepared for them.
Mm-hmm.
I think it really did kind of help me come out of my shell and be like, hey, I like playing these characters and I don't actually mind talking in front of people. And that sort of guided a lot of my choices, I think, throughout the rest of my academic career. So yeah, if you're currently doing oral presentations for anything at all, don't feel too discouraged, because I promise it will actually help you in life.
Yeah.
Amazing. All right. Well, Susritha, do you want to kick it off? What's your number 5 top? Is it favorite vegetables? Is that what we're calling it, or just top 5 in general?
I mean, however you want to take it. Top 5 in either preference or usefulness. Just your top 5. The 5 vegetables you take with you on an island.
Okay. Okay, so my in 5th place. Wait, we're going that way, right? 5th?
Yep. Yeah.
Okay. In 5th place, the onion. To confirm, the onion is a vegetable, correct?
Yes.
Okay. I feel like I need confirmation.
Yeah. Disclaimer to all the smartasses out there. Noah being one of them. I see you. We're going like conventionally understood as vegetables. Like if it turns out it's like, oh, it's a fruit, or it's a melon or a tuber or a root, I don't care. Conventional vegetables is what we're counting as vegetables. And you can critique me if you want, but that's what we're doing. But yes, onion is a great one.
Yes, I think they are versatile, and I will say I love a good caramelized onion.
Mm-hmm.
My brother started making these little sandwiches. They're like kind of grilled cheese sandwiches, but it's like the cheese, but then there's like grilled tomatoes and caramelized onions, and I will eat that sandwich without the tomatoes because I don't care for them too much, but just the onions and the cheese
Ooh,
all day, every day. Yeah.
Shannon, you found an equal on the tomato debate thing.
Amazing. I am so aligned with that. That sounds so good.
Yeah.
Tomato would be on my top 5, but I think it's one of those that like most people now consider a fruit, so I haven't put it on the top 5.
That's fair.
So it's probably on my top 5 fruits though. But yeah. Shannon, what about you?
All right. So my number 5 is cucumber.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. You
Oh.
know, it's kind of just nestled in at the bottom spot here because it's just delightful to snack on. I think, not that it's exclusively a summer vegetable, I don't think, but I just associate it with it's hot outside. I just want a cool, crisp, crunchy snack. Gonna cut up myself a nice little cucumber. And it's a fun surprise in salads. And, yeah.
This is going to be a theme for me. I thought a cucumber was a fruit.
Yeah, I don't know where I would put the cucumber, but it wasn't in vegetable, and I don't think it was in fruit either. So
it's a melon.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But I don't think my brain knew that.
Yeah, Shannon, that's still an acceptable answer though. Or I'm messing with the rules. The rules do not exist here. This is a table with no rules. Dang, I didn't even think of cucumber. That's a good one though. That's probably number 6 for me. My number 5, conveniently, is Shannon's picture for today. It is an artichoke. I love artichokes, especially in like a spinach artichoke dip. Oh, so good.
There's one that Costco has. It's so good.
I know the one you're talking about.
Trader Joe's has a good one too.
That's true. To be perfectly honest though, I don't really encounter artichokes outside of that dip.
I will.
Yeah.
Personal life.
I've had it on pizza.
Oh, like artichoke hearts?
Yep.
Interesting. Yeah, I've never tried that, I don't think. No.
It's not something I would order often, but it is something that was like, that's okay. Number 4.
Are we just going back around?
Yeah, I guess we'll keep the rotation.
Okay. In 4th place, the eggplant.
Ooh.
Eggplant.
Yeah.
I forgot about it.
So for eggplant, I've got two different ways you can go with this. Like one, the classic eggplant parmesan, just really good, so good. But then one of my other like all-time favorite, like when I think of like Indian curries, there's one called guttu vankai. So vankai is the eggplant, and it's like, you know, those like mini ones, not like the big eggplants, but like the individual tiny ones. I don't know what I don't know what you call them. But those, it's like you basically like cut an X into them, and so like they can take in a gravy a bit more, and you put it in a peanut based gravy, and it's really, really good.
Ooh, more of those peanuts.
So, yeah. So eggplants, they're a good time.
Do you know about the like why they're called eggplants when they look nothing like eggs?
No, I don't.
There's a variety of eggplant that is just a white, like, ovoid shape. And the guy that named the eggplant saw those and was like, that's an eggplant. And now we only really know of the big old purple ones that we still call eggplants, even though the one that was named after the egg actually looked like an egg.
I mean, I guess that makes sense for the person who named it, but like, why did we have to keep propagating that name?
Right?
Isn't like it has another name?
The rest of the world calls it an aubergine.
Yes, that's it.
Yeah,
and
what do we do?
Yeah, man, U.S. / like Europe does weird things with like naming things. I don't know. I think maybe Europe calls it the aubergine, but they might use both words. But like definitely in French and like other languages, it's like, or at least Latin-based languages is like something along those lines. But yeah, we have eggplant for some reason. Have you seen those TikToks of like, there's like a guy, he puts his face over countries of the world and he says like the same word in like a bunch of different languages. And there's always the one country that says it wildly differently.
No, but I really want to see this now.
I will send it to you. It's so funny. Like ambulance, for example.
Oh, the German word.
Do you know what it is? I don't remember.
The Kraken wagon or something.
Kraken wagon, yes. And everyone is like very close to ambulance, like ambulance, like in French, and like very similar. And then just Germany, just yeah. Because like Kranken, does that directly translate? Because doesn't Kranken mean like danger?
Oh, right? I don't know.
Is that danger car? Is that the direct English? I don't know.
I don't.
I have a very, very limited understanding of root words in German. But
well, what I do know is that the word for hospital is Kraken something.
Maybe so that's like, what it is.
They're similar to each other, but I don't know what like actual derivative that takes.
Mm-hmm. That might be what I'm thinking about. Instead of ambulance, it's a hospital, and they were going around talking about how every country says hospital. Which is still funny that like there's always the one country that's wrong. I learned on the same account that almost every language says hacker almost the same way.
Wait,
so like
hacker?
Like a computer hacker is pronounced like pretty much the same in a lot of languages. Like this video had over 20 languages and it was hacker, like all very, very similar, which is really cool. Like of all the words, it's hacker.
Interesting.
The world agreed on one word.
Well, I guess it's a more modern word, right?
Yeah, that's why I'm thinking it's so universals, because like it's not a Latin-based thing. It's not like an old word. But yeah, languages are cool and weird at the same time.
They are.
Yeah.
I took French for 9 years, and y'all took French for 13, and I still can't speak French.
I can't either. I took it my first semester of college, and it did not go well.
Ooh. You know what's so annoying is I can read it. I can read French just fine, but I can't speak it or hear it. If you wrote down what you said in French, I could decipher it.
No, I agree with that, yeah. Yeah.
It's really the listening for me. Like I think over the years I got a little bit better at forming and speaking my own thoughts in French, but like if any native speaker addresses me, I'm just like, I don't know. I can recognize that it's French, but I can't make out the words.
Yeah, it's hard to know where one word ends and the next starts, and I imagine that is the case for non-English speakers hearing us talk as well.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. It's just a matter of need more exposure to it, I think, and not just conjugating verbs for 8 years.
Yeah, and even without an accent, like the French language is very buttery. It's very like smooth, like word into word, like the syllables like blend into each other really well. So it's a very pretty language to hear, even if there isn't the French accent. But it means like for someone trying to decipher it, it is even more difficult to know like what word means what. Yeah, I've been trying my whole life. Last time I was in Canada, which was a while back, I met some of my distant cousins, and they knew how to say like, my name is like Julie, I live in Beauceville, Canada, and I am 13 years old. And I could come back to them with like, je m'appelle Katelynn, like going back to them, and it was like, oh my god, we're best friends now, when like that's all we could say to each other. It's like, oh, good job. But we were kids, that was very exciting when we were kids. Anyway.
Also, before we deviate from this topic too much, I was doing some light Googling while we were talking, and I think we're thinking about the Krankenwagen.
Yeah.
Oh, you got
and
it.
I apologize to my German cousin if she is tuning in at all for the butchered pronunciation, but I think that's the word for ambulance that we were talking about.
Awesome.
And then it's like my reference here is Google Translate, which I know is uh, incorrect, but it sort of looks like the cranking part. Cranking. That's not right at all. The first part of the word means like sick or suffer, and then the wagon is vehicle. So it is sort of a literal, like
Huh.
this is the vehicle for sick people, I think.
Nice.
I
That's cool.
apologize if this is a fountain of information, but I just think it's fascinating.
Yeah. Also,
Yeah.
to our one German view, hello. I don't know if you were Shannon's cousin or you were Shannon's friend who was in Germany while you listened to the podcast, but shout out because it was very funny to see that we had one German listener on like episode 2.
Yes, Dankeschön.
It was like, you have 5 views, 4 in the US, like in New England specifically, and then the line just jumped over to Germany, and I was like, oh.
Amazing. Do you know what that means, guys? We are an international podcast.
Hell yeah.
Heck yeah.
Mhm.
Amazing.
And now
Okay,
we
who's got
have like favorite foods and a like more diverse cuisine, which is really cool. So hopefully we get more of that going forward as well. Up until now, a lot of favorite foods were cheese-based.
Hey, there is nothing wrong with cheese-based food.
Shannon, what was your number 4?
My number 4. It's corn.
Oh my
A
god.
big lump with knobs.
If I hear that song one more time, I'm deleting TikTok. The kid, you're adorable. I wish you nothing but the best, but your song is driving me crazy.
Oh man.
Yeah, so if you're familiar at all with the corn song that was circling around social media,
It has
that's
the
what I was
juice.
it was so silly. Someone interviewed this little kid, and he was just so passionate about his love for corn that someone turned it into a song, and then everyone had that song stuck in their head for a month.
Was
Um,
that
but
Smell
yeah,
Yoho?
I think so.
Smell Yoho, I've been a fan of you forever. You've made the best songs, and now you have made the most annoying one. Well, congratulations on the full gambit.
There you go.
Fun fact, the person who did the interview of that kid
Yeah.
went to BU, and it was so funny because like the week after, BU was like, oh my goodness, this person's a BU alum. And
Oh
I
my
was
god.
like, I mean, this is great and all, like glad to know we went to the same school, but also like he really got on the marketing train really quickly there.
So funny.
Um,
I love
Because
that.
they also did Chrissy Wake Up, which was my favorite song for a while. But yeah, no, they immediately followed it up with the corn one.
Corn.
And like
Wild.
obviously like a lot of people have heard their work from like the guy who does the Five Guys review and the Markiplier space one, Jacksepticeye's all the way. So like a lot of people have heard their work, but it's really funny when like you explain to somebody that like all of those songs are by the same people and they're like, "What?" They know all their work, but they don't know who Shmo Yoho is. And it's great when I get to introduce them to him. Oh, also, like while we're talking about corn, correcting what I said last week. Thank you, Peter, for calling me out in the Discord. Popcorn was not the first thing used in a microwave or in a microwave device. They noticed because it melted chocolate. So chocolate was the first thing put in a microwave device. Popcorn was used to like demonstrate that it could be used for food as it was sold to the public. So there's that.
Nice. Interesting. Yeah, I think that should really just be a disclaimer for all of the podcast.
Yeah.
As much as I try to deliver accurate information to you guys, I also recognize that a lot of it is not. I can be a fountain of misinformation, and I apologize. So do take everything that we say on here as fact with a grain of salt.
Yeah. Or like a kernel of corn.
A grain of salt, kernel of corn, and a spoonful of sugar.
Perfect. I will be putting that on a shirt. I think we have to at this point.
I hope so. Also, speaking of which,
Mhm.
Caitlin, I want to like buy a shirt of yours or any of your artwork or things. How could I do that?
Yeah, thank you for that segue. Yeah, so I mentioned it last week, but Simmer is my brand that I make. It's all homemade things that I have either designed or made myself. That's sort of connected to this podcast. So it's simmercookbook.square.site is my website. Simmer_cookbook is the Instagram. You can also get to the site from there. It was my college senior thesis project that became like a real little business that I'm trying to start. There are resources there that I've designed for people learning to cook, like a book and a grocery list and things like that. There's a gift box coming and a lot of stuff to decorate your kitchen because dorm kitchens and kitchens when you just move out to a little apartment are often very boring. So if you want some fun homemade decorations, I have those. Thanks.
Of course. Anytime. Yeah, I still have some of your fruit stickers on my laptop, and they're just so delightful.
Aw,
Like
thanks.
happy little fruit.
Those are available on Simmer's website as well. Little fruit stickers. I have to send you the podcast stickers because those are available as well. And I think I might just put one as like a free sticker in every order. Because like no one really wants to buy a brand sticker, which is totally understandable. I'm not going to go buy a sticker from Nike that's just the swish. So like Simmer and podcast stickers will probably go like free in every order. So if you want free stuff, I have that too.
Free stuff.
Free
Who
stuff.
doesn't love it?
Stuff.
Anyway, with that very natural ad read, we move on to our third favorite foods, and we will continue the same order.
Yeah. Okay. Coming in at number 3, sweet potato.
Mm-hmm.
Sweet potato here is my icon as well, but I love a good sweet potato. I think when it comes to sweet potatoes, my love for them is, forever, but those cravings hit every once in a while, and when they come in strong. And it's usually because of sweet potato fry cravings specifically, but very, very good sweet potato
Yeah.
fries.
Sweet potato fries are so good. I do agree with you. I'm not always in the mood for it, but when I am, it just hits the spot.
It really does. They come out of nowhere sometimes too. And I remember specifically in high school, there was like a month where I was craving sweet potato fries. And I talked about them all the time, but like never actually did anything about it. And it took like a month for me to actually get myself some sweet potato fries. But they're really good. And like once you have them, you're like, yes, this was good. Yeah.
I have to try them again.
You should.
Yeah. I hate to say that I currently don't like sweet potato, but I haven't had it in a long time. So I will say as a kid, I definitely didn't like sweet potato, but I have to reevaluate that as an adult.
Yeah, give them another shot.
Yeah. And try different forms of it too, because
Yeah.
in my little experience with sweet tomatoes, I feel like you either go the savory route or the continue to make it sweeter route. Like I've seen people season it with like cinnamon and sugar, and then it's a actual sweet potato or other
Yeah.
spices, or they fry it or something, and then it's a side to whatever you're having that night.
Susritha, did you hear her say sweet tomato?
Yeah, I did.
You like sweet tomato?
Is that what you said? That's okay.
Oh no.
I was like, maybe she's
unintentional.
just. Yeah, no, Shannon's love. No, you hate tomato. Never mind. I was gonna be like, yeah, your love for tomatoes subconsciously made its way through, but never
think it's just
mind.
She
because
doesn't
I'm
like
in
tomatoes. That is okay. I always like, like the phrase like potato, or conversely tomato. I say tomato, potato as it's like that's the joke. So yeah, I confuse them intentionally to the point where I do it unintentionally, so I do not blame you. But how would you guys recommend I try sweet potatoes? Like you say I could go both ways. What do you think I would like more? Or what form? Like if you prefer like fry or chip or whatever, that's fine too.
I still think the fry is a good way to go, but I think I know some people who've tried the fries with like different condiments and they really like it when they do it like that. So
Okay.
I'm thinking maybe you have to venture out with and try sweet potato fries with different condiments. That being said, I don't do that personally, but I feel like if you didn't have the best experience with them the first time around, it can't hurt to try other things here.
Okay.
You know.
Thank you. Have you ever tried vegan cheese? I know, like, you're vegetarian, not vegan, but have you ever tried it? Because I've been curious to try it.
No, I have not. I'm very adamantly vegetarian. And so yeah, I love me my cheese and my dairy. So
Mhm.
no, I have not. But like Shannon, have you tried vegan cheese?
Not.
Mhm.
And I can't say I understand what it is
Yeah, I
because
don't either.
it's a paradox.
Like most vegan things, I bet you it's soy based. Which, like, for
Oh
the
yeah.
most part is fine. I understand it. Soy is a great base for most things. I am also a fan of tofu, which is soy in a log
Okay.
form. Um, but I like a lot of vegan meat substitutes. I love vegan chicken nuggets and like burgers. Like, they're so good. Um, Even ones that aren't meant to taste like meat, that are just like vegetables in the shape of meat, I think is really good. But I've never tried vegan cheese or vegan egg, and I'm scared because I really like my cheese and eggs. And I guess, like, there's no reason to be scared. If I don't like them, I don't like them. But I want to pretend that they're perfect, and if I never try them, they will remain perfect.
What I will say about the vegan egg is that I've never tried it, but there was a period of time during the pandemic when I think everyone was baking and our family was also baking at that time. But
Mhm.
we don't cook with eggs in the house. Like the most we'll do is like boiled eggs in one of those like little boiled egg maker things.
Mhm.
Um, so it's very like contained. So we don't actually bake with eggs. Like everything is like eggless. And so we did a whole like once we found out like all those like egg substitutes, the one we stuck with was the aquafaba, which is the
I've heard
bean
about
juice.
that. Yeah,
Yeah.
chickpea water.
Chickpea water, exactly, yeah.
Yeah.
And we just have like ice cube form. Like we just like took a bunch of it and like put it in like an ice cube tray.
Mhm.
So we just like have a bunch of it in our freezer, but it definitely like vegan substitutes, that one actually does work, I think.
Nice. I've been
Mm.
like interested in that one too. I follow a lot of Julian Solomita's cooking, and he cooks vegan and gluten free.
Mm,
And obviously I've been following like Jenna and Julian since like forever. Um, but he uses aquafaba a lot, and he even used it in like a cheese sauce. So he had like the vegan cheese and aquafaba, which was interesting. And you can make it, which I also didn't know. Like, it's not just you get it out of the can and you just do something with the chickpea. You can actually like make more using those chickpeas, which is also really cool.
yeah.
I also love that it's called aquafaba. Like, what an interesting name. Like, I wonder where that comes from.
Literally bean water.
Really?
Yeah, that I mean, as far as I remember, don't quote me on that, but as far as I remember, it is bean water.
You know what? Makes sense.
So,
The delivery was so good though, Susritha.
Yeah.
Literally bean water. Just all wonder of the word just lost.
I
I
haven't
said it with confidence, but then I wasn't sure.
I haven't yet done any like cuts of like parts of the podcast to either post on social media or like YouTube shorts or anything like that. But if and when I start, that will be one of them. That was amazing. Like, all of like the hot takes of each episode, I want to like put together in like a shorts. The only thing the only reason I haven't done it is because like you need some sort of visual component, and I don't
Mm,
necessarily want it to be just a still image. For like TikTok, let's say. So I
yeah.
have to figure out like, and I could put like captions across it, but like I have to find a software that like does that, so I don't have to type in every word and time every word for when we say it. So I have to figure that out. But if I do that, that will be one of them. That was awesome.
I feel like I don't know how much time and energy you have for this, but I would love to see like an animated garbanzo bean saying that.
Oh my god.
That's so good.
That would be good. I think garbanzo beans, like beans, fall into a different category than vegetables. But I think if they were definitely vegetables, which they're not, I think all of my top 5 would be beans. I love beans.
Yeah, I didn't even put beans on the list, but yeah, they deserve their own ranking.
I might give them an
Mhm.
episode, the bean episode.
I mean,
We'll
yeah.
have Noah on it to be infuriating because Noah hates beans.
How? No. What? No.
It's one of those things that I think he had him as a kid and he got sick. And it just like now it's like a mind over matter thing. It's just like hard for him to eat beans without feeling crappy afterward, which I totally get. He has tried a few, and a few have been safe ones. He's getting back into it, but I think just the overall experience isn't worth it. But I would
Yeah,
love for
that's
him to like
unfortunate.
beans one day because I love beans. You know?
Over time, slowly but surely.
Yeah, just like add beans slowly to his dishes, more and more.
1 bean, 2 bean, 3 bean, 4 bean.
Yeah, he accidentally got not accidentally, but like we were at Olive Garden, which was already a mistake because our Olive Garden locally isn't that great. And they were out of the chicken and gnocchi soup, which is really the only reason we walked in there. So he ordered what's the soup? Minestrone,
Yeah.
which is like bean soup.
It's all beans.
He was so sad. I felt so bad. I'm like, we should have just ate the appetizer and left. But
Oh,
we stayed because I just got a salad and called it a day. But he got, because it was the only other soup they had, and he wanted to eat something that wasn't like their Alfredo, which he doesn't like, which is fine. Like, but he was just like picking them out and just like drinking the broth around them.
oh no.
He had some of the salad, so I did like give him mine for sure, and I was gonna trade with him, but he like insisted because he didn't want me to have it either. Which I don't like minestrone soup, even though I like beans. But yeah,
I will say
it
as
was a
a
sad.
kid.
What was that?
No, I was gonna say as a kid, when I had minestrone soup, I didn't like the beans either. So my mom used to make it with shell, like the shell pasta,
Oh,
and so
nice.
I would literally just eat the shell. Because so I was never actually eating minestrone soup. But yeah.
You're all
Minestrone soup is also one of the first things Noah and I ever cooked together.
Oh,
I guess this is a really telling origin story. I swear everything I do is like somehow food related. And like obviously everyone does the food thing every day to survive, but like I've made so many projects about food and things like that, and I met Noah in high school, but the first thing we ever did together was we were both in the culinary shop together and we got in the same group. And we made biscuits, quiche, and minestrone soup in that group. And it was the first time I ever like got to talk to him. And now we cook like twice a week together. Which is great.
oh, that's so fun.
I love that.
So, yeah. It all started with soup. Today I made soup. I made a giant tomato soup today. Tomorrow he and I are making crispy rice, spicy tuna bites. Yeah, I cook a lot. Cooking is fun. It's expensive. It's an expensive hobby, but especially like when you're cooking for only 2 people and you can only buy full portions of everything. Like I have to like really portion out food and make sure I like give it to other people so it doesn't go to waste.
But then you have leftovers.
Yeah,
Leftovers.
some things aren't awesome as leftovers though, is the thing. Like for example, like the like spicy tuna crispy rice is not really something that keeps very long. But like the things that do keep, like sometimes when we make like tomato sauce or whatever, we'll freeze it and we'll have pasta another day. But like we made chicken parm once and we like wildly overestimated how much we would need. We could have served like 6 people with how much chicken parm we made. But
And I was not invited.
you were in college at the time.
That's fair.
You
That
can be
also would have been
now.
really weird if I was like crashing your date cooking night.
It's
to
okay.
come get chicken parm.
Like, I heard you had extras.
Shannon
Look
shows
at
up with a
here.
plate. Speaking of
Don't
which,
mind
I still
me.
have to get those bowls from you.
Oh
Shannon
yeah.
so kindly bought me some soup and sandwich bowls from Costco.
Mhm.
Costco.
Yes, they're still in my room. So
I like that they're not like in like the front room or the kitchen. They're in your bedroom. It's just 4 bowls that are desperate for soup.
yeah, exactly.
There is a piece of rice in my keyboard. That's hysterical. Anyway, I
All
eat
right.
I
So
eat at my desk a lot.
Are we up to number 3 still?
I think we have just started number 3.
So Susritha's number 3 was sweet potatoes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Similarly, mine is just potatoes. So I
Nice.
suppose the subcategory of sweet potato could also be in there. But yeah, I think, like Susritha was saying, they're just pretty versatile all around. I like most forms of potato. I think it's a good go-to side. There's also a twice baked couch potato recipe that is so delightful. It's from, so I was trying to find the recipe in, we have like a drawer full of printouts and handwritten recipes and things, and I found it, and it's a printout of a computer web page from 2012.
Wow.
And apparently this recipe was from Clinton Kelly, who was a chef on the cooking show The Chew. If anyone remembers that at all. So we've been relying on this recipe since 2012, apparently, a good decade of these twice baked potatoes, but they're really delicious. You basically like take a potato and bake it, and then scoop out the middle white part of it, leaving the skin as like a little boat. And then you mix the white part with cream cheese and scallions and regular cheese. You can add bacon bits, but you certainly don't have to if you are keeping it vegetarian. And then you stuff it back into the potato boat, and then you bake it again. And it's so good.
That is amazing.
My mom made that recipe during the initial COVID lockdown, like in those first 2 months. And because like we were all stuck together and like trying to find ways to entertain ourselves, it was amazing and it was so good. And it was so good that she made it like 4 times, like in like the following 2 weeks. We ate so many potatoes.
Yeah.
we played a whole game of poker just eating twice baked potatoes one night.
So good. Would recommend.
Mine
Right.
is, I hope this counts like enough as a vegetable, but mine is garlic.
Oh.
I like technically like it's a root, but like so are potatoes.
We'll count it. It's
Yeah,
fine.
yeah.
That's a clever choice. I like
Yeah, that is. Yeah, I wouldn't have put it down, but now that you say it, yeah.
Right in this moment, I'm not a fan of garlic, as in like I say that because I have insane garlic breath right now. I made garlic confit today for the first time, and it was
My goodness.
heavenly. But my whole house smells like garlic. I smell like garlic, and I have showered, and my breath still smells like garlic. I've had so much, but it's so worth it. And like garlic is like $1 for like like a head of garlic. So for like $5, I made like the most amazing topping for toast I've ever made. Because it's just garlic and oil is all it is, and then you just put it in the oven for like 2 hours. But tomorrow Noah's coming over, and I have the tomato soup, and I'm gonna make like garlic grilled cheeses to go with it, and he doesn't know about it, so I'm very excited for how that's gonna taste. But it just means I'm gonna have garlic breath for another day.
I'm excited for you. That sounds amazing.
There you go.
He's gonna have garlic breath too. What was that?
Keeping the vampires away at the same time.
There you go.
Love it.
I did also just realize the reality of he's going to have garlic breath all day, too. Well, he gets no kisses tomorrow. And neither do I, for the same reason. But that's funny. But yeah, garlic is... I mean, I don't know anyone who, like, doesn't like garlic in places where it belongs. But yeah, love garlic.
Very nice.
Yeah, I mean, garlic is one of those things that, like, there's not much to say about it. It's just a good thing.
It is a good thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right, right along to our second places.
Yeah, second place for me. I've got so I call it capsicum. Do you guys know what that is if I say it?
It's like a bell pepper, right?
Yeah, so in our house, all the bell peppers are just capsicum, and we just call them all that. But the bell pepper family, a great family, if you ask me. Again, super versatile, and I think you can chop them up and put them in pasta, and it's great. But also, there's a lot of again Indian curries that are based around it and are really good. So yeah, it's a good time.
I found a recipe once when I first learned that was a word for bell peppers.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like an oven baked like medley type thing. And I had the recipe open. I was going to the grocery store. I'm like, what is a capsicum? I'm gonna like, there are things I don't know what they are. Like, is it worth making this recipe if I don't know what the food is? And then I Googled it and I was like, oh my God, it's a red bell pepper. I know exactly where they are. Which is like, it makes total sense for it to have like a specific name than it to just be like a pepper, because there's so many other things labeled just pepper. But I'm happy I know what it is called now, because I was very confused that day.
Okay, on to number 2, Shannon.
Number 2. All right, for me, this is broccoli.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I know it is the notorious vegetable for children for some reason. I don't know why every kid is like, I hate broccoli. But yeah, I really enjoy it, especially pan fried is, I think, my favorite way to do it. Just a little bit of butter in the pan and just cook it up. Yeah, I can eat so much of it, especially when it's cooked that way, and it's delightful every time.
I like broccoli in like a stir fry or like just raw, like with ranch dressing. That's a good one.
And garlic sauce is also really good.
Oh, I haven't tried it with garlic sauce.
Yeah.
They used to make my mom bought once. It's like a broccoli like with a cheese sauce. Like it was just basically like a Kraft cheese sauce that you'd put over it, which was like, it was okay, but like at that point, why are you bothering to eat a vegetable if like you're gonna load it in like synthetic cheese? You might as well just eat the vegetable, because now it negates the point. But that's where I like realized I liked broccoli. It's pretty good. I don't think it's in my top 5 or like top 10, but it's one that I definitely like don't mind eating. Do you like broccoli cheddar soup?
That's a good question. I've only had it a handful of times, and it's not my favorite, not because of the broccoli, but I think because of the melty cheese. That's not usually my thing.
Yeah, I find it either too thick or like the texture isn't quite there, because like the little florets and whatever like have a weird grainy texture. But like broccoli and cheese are a good combo when done right. Panera Bread has a good broccoli cheddar soup. But like, or like Pizzeria Uno had a good one. But some of them I think are too thick. Like this is a queso dip. I need a chip or a bread to eat this. But
the idea that a soup could be as thick as a queso dip is kind of unnerving.
It's just it's so much cheese.
Is it a chowder at that point?
Oh,
is that? I don't know what makes a chowder versus a soup, because it's not even like the fact that there's cream in it, because chicken and gnocchi soup is a soup, but it's a cream-based soup. So I don't know what denotes a chowder, but I am a big fan of chowder as well.
During lunch last week at work, my colleagues and I had a whole discussion about the difference between a soup, chowder, mush, the different categories of like
Yeah, like a
what are
stew.
our yeah, stew exactly. And we were like, where comes the line for any of these? And
Yeah.
the answer is we don't know still.
Nobody knows.
That was the conclusion. I was really hoping you would have some insight here.
I mean, we did end up we have like a chalkboard in the kitchen, and one of my colleagues drew a like an XY coordinate, a graph, and we had like wetness, dryness, chunkiness, like smoothness as like the two scales. And the graph is like, oh, what did you have for lunch today? And you had to like basically place it in like which coordinate you or like quadrant you think your food fell in.
That is
And
amazing.
it was really fun, and I actually haven't been in the office since that was drawn, so I don't know if other people updated that chart, but yeah,
I hope so.
it's still very confusing, but yeah.
That's awesome. I do want to have like focus a whole podcast on like food debates like that. Like an episode or maybe two depending on how long things go, but like is a hot dog a sandwich? Like, and I know that's the name of a podcast from Good Mythical Morning, Mythical Chef Josh. I understand that's a podcast. I'm not trying to rip them off. They just have good ideas. But like questions like those, I think a cereal is a soup, and Noah hates that. It's like, you need a broth. I'm like, oh, and your milk does not become infused with the cereal that you've put in it. That's a broth. But I would love to have like find somebody who like disagrees with me on a lot of those things and just like duke it out for an episode. All right. Is it my turn for number 2?
Yeah.
Yes. Katelynn, what is your number 2?
Mine is onions. The lovely, versatile onion. As Susritha said, like a good caramelized onion, or like onions like on like in a taco or a stir fry, in like an omelet. Just, it's like the first vegetable I will grab to put in something. But I'm actually surprised there hasn't been a lot of overlap. Like so far, like we've had potato, corn, and onion. Like we don't have like all the same 5 top, just in different orders, which I think is cool.
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah, I was just thinking that. I was also noticing too, Katelynn, that you have garlic and onions, which I feel like are both sort of supplementary vegetables for other dishes or other vegetables.
True.
But it's great. They're there. They
Yeah.
deserve to be there.
Yeah, none of them are really a dish on their own, huh?
That's
Even
okay.
artichoke, you wouldn't just like have an artichoke.
Just sit down with an artichoke in front of you, like, yes,
Start
this is
picking
my meal.
the leaves off and just munching. um
All right. Is it
yeah,
time for the moment of truth? What is everyone's
I think it
number 1
is.
pick?
Yeah, okay. Mine is kind of anticlimactic at this point because we've kind of talked about my number one, but it has to be said. It's the potato. It's
Mhm.
just so versatile. You can use it in so many different ways, and it just tastes good in any form. One specific form of the potato that I specifically love is at school, in college, they had the smashed potato bar.
Oh, smashed
And the
potatoes.
smashed potato bar was a very, very good time, and it was just something I looked forward to and something I really miss. But yeah,
Wait, can
the
you please
potato.
explain to me what that is? I'm so intrigued.
You don't know?
I don't.
So the smashed potato bar, at least in the dining hall, okay, was these like they're like they're boiled, they're a little softer than they're like the little mini potatoes, like the
Mhm.
the individual ones, right? And they put them in your bowl, and then they take the back of like a spoon or something, and then they smash them, so they're kind of flat. And then they add toppings onto them. So then you can add like sour cream and cheese. And it's basically like how you would top a baked potato, but the potato is just smashed instead of mashed or just baked. But it's so good.
That's really fun.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They're so good. Especially like if you smash them and then twice bake them, like you put them in the oven afterward and they get
Yeah, crispy.
crispy.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yep, immediately trying that. We already know I enjoy a good twice baked potato.
Something I
It's
forgot
like
to mention too, sort of speaking of Roadhouse, with the sweet potato, they put marshmallows on it.
what?
You can order a baked sweet potato, open faced, with marshmallows broiled onto the top.
I don't know how I feel about that.
Me neither.
Right?
Noah's mom ordered it and she loved it. And I'm like, that sounds interesting. And like what Shannon said with like making a sweet potato like a dessert based thing is great.
Yeah.
But like
Mhm.
that's like it's a side you order with your entree. It's like I'm so happy she liked it. I find it interesting that it exists.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm glad I remembered that because I would have hated not mentioning that because it's very interesting. I think there's like maple syrup on it too.
I have seen maple syrup and sweet potato. I've actually tried it. It's a good combination. It brings out the sweetness even
Maple
more,
syrup is
but it's
good
good.
on carrots as well.
I haven't tried that.
I can see none of us are real carrot fans unless Shannon's gonna tell me that carrots are number one.
Drum roll for number one, Shannon.
Mm-hmm.
Is it carrot?
Yeah, it's a carrot. I was just about to say I'm so surprised no one said this before, but I guess it's because I am the unpopular opinion of the podcast. Big
That's
surprise.
amazing. I so genuinely spoke too soon.
Yeah, carrots, guys. Do you really not like them all that much?
They're okay.
They're yeah, maybe in my top 10, but not in the top 5.
I also only like carrots raw.
Oh,
That is my favorite way to have them, although I do enjoy them cooked as well. It's just like if say there's a vegetable platter out, you're at a party or a function or whatever, and it's there, I will almost exclusively eat those carrots. It's just so good. They're my
agree.
go-to, and they're delightful. They help your eyesight, supposedly. I don't know how accurate that is.
The
Like,
amount of times I
cocktail.
heard that as a child. Like,
Yeah.
I have glasses, and the amount of times I was fed carrots because of that. I'm like, I don't know how true this is, but
Yeah.
Right? I don't know if it's just a tactic to get kids to eat carrots, and that's why they tell them that.
I think it's
But
like a
regardless,
replacement, but
yeah, they're just crisp. They're there. You cook them, you get a nice different texture, different flavors, and yeah,
Do you ever hear if you eat enough carrots, you turn orange?
I have also heard that one
Like,
too.
technically, that is in fact true, and it's kind of true with other foods as well, but like the amount you have to eat is absurd.
I'm happy to report that I am not orange, despite the fact that it is my number one choice.
Should we consult Donald Trump and ask him how many carrots he's eaten?
Absolutely not.
Fair. Same. I like carrots in like smoothies and like juices, like if you juice a bunch of produce, because it adds like a natural sweetness. But other than that, I like them either raw or they're in my favorite soup, so that too. But I don't really like cooked carrots. I never did as a kid either. My brother loved them though.
there's this one sweet dish. It's called carrot halva. And halva is just like it is just a sweet dessert.
Mhm.
But this is specifically made with like cooked down carrots, and it's just like carrots, milk, sugar, and then like I don't know other sweetening thing. I think you could put like condensed milk or something in it, but it's like a really good sweet thing that you don't even realize has carrot in it, but then it makes you feel good because you're like, there's a vegetable in this. So yeah.
There you go. Have the hidden healthy thing in there. Like, yeah,
Yeah,
I'm
I
good.
mean it's not really hidden, but
I've had brownies with spinach hidden in them, and it was really good.
zucchini brownies, anyone?
Those are pretty good too.
Yes.
Those are so good.
Zucchini bread as well.
I was just about to say I don't like zucchini bread. I wish I did. Like genuinely, I think it's too zucchini heavy. Whereas like with a brownie,
What?
like the chocolate covers it more. I think it's just the aftertaste of zucchini I don't like, and it's a bummer because like otherwise it's fine. Like I like it more as a savory thing.
So I'm guessing zucchini is not your number one.
It is not. Although I am clearly I wrote this note too fast because like I think spinach might sit at my number 5 instead of artichoke. So we'll say it's spinach. Yeah. Yeah, it's a vegetable. Yeah, we'll call leafy greens a vegetable for the sake of that comment. But my number 1 is the potato.
Potato.
Yeah. It's
Overwhelming winner of the night here, I think.
Yeah. I don't know what our future plans are for like the next couple episodes, but my mom has already called the potato episode. So as soon as we get there, we can spend a whole hour talking about potatoes with how amazingly versatile potatoes are. But yeah, I mean, I'll just be repeating, but like for all the same reasons. Russet potatoes are my favorite potato.
Oh.
The little gold ones that you make the smashed potatoes out of are great too. But yeah. The only thing I don't like about potatoes is lugging the big bag out of the grocery store. That's
Workout.
It's always like the heaviest thing in your hands, so even if you have other things, it's always unbalanced. The only thing that saves it is like if you have a gallon of milk in the other hand.
But then the gallon of milk is cold.
Yeah, it's still wrong. It's all levels of wrong.
It's still wrong. You just need to buy 2 bags of potatoes.
There you
Perfect.
go. Balance.
Yeah, this was... I might call this the stir fry episode or like the vegetable medley episode because this has been great.
Oh, I like vegetable medley.
Veggies are good.
They are good.
Y'all need to eat more veggies. Everyone, go eat a veggie. Enjoy it.
They're good and good for you.
If you don't like vegetables, it means you've probably only had them steamed or in a pan. Tried them a different way. Veggies are great. You gotta experiment with them. But yeah. Thank you so much, Susritha, for coming on and joining us and for listening.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
It's so great to talk to you again. Hopefully this isn't the last time for a bit. We all need to hang out, honestly. We're out of excuses. We're all local again.
This is true.
But yeah. So there's that. I will do the cringy YouTuber thing. Be like, if you like us, we're approaching 10 episodes, which is cool. Like wherever you listen to us on. Give us like the 5 stars on Spotify, which I just discovered is a thing you can do. Share it with people. If anyone who doesn't know us might like it, let them know. You don't have to tag us. It's still simmer if you want to, but I don't care. But thank you, everybody. There is that.